Thanks for checking out this haul video. So as you'll notice off the bat, no background lighting. That's because I'm going to go over some new Spooky Town editions that I just got, the Lemax company's Spooky Town figures, and they light up, so I do want to be able to turn this light above me off so you can see them lit up in the dark, which is the intended way to look at them, and the background lighting, it would be too much for me to deal with, and it would, if I left it on, it would, wash out the colors basically. So anyway, gonna get into it. We got 3 pieces. My wife and I actually do have some really old Spooky Town figures and housing and all that stuff that we had gotten from her mother. Her mother one year, many years ago at this point, probably like 8 years ago or so, had said, hey, I have all the Spooky Town stuff. I know you guys are big in, well, at least I am, big into Halloween. Do you want these? Because I'm not going to put them out anymore. So we decided, yeah, why not? And so for years now, once the end of September or early October hits, my wife has usually typically been the one who goes ahead and kind of arranges like an entire village of Spooky Town figures. So I usually wasn't helping out with that, but I did like looking at it because I'm so much into Halloween and the spooky season, but I'm also not into decorating things. So it was like this kind of happy medium, and she loves decorating things. But this year I said, you know what? What would you say if we went ahead and got some new pieces for Spooky Town? What do you think about that? And she was like, I don't know if we could fit it. We couldn't go wild. They're also expensive. They're not cheap at all. Some are pretty cheap if you get like the really small ones, but for the most part, they're not very cheap. So she agreed, and she also said, if you help me set up. So I did help her set everything up this time and did a little maintenance on some other figures. But anyway, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to show you the 3 that we got, and I'll go from the ones I like the least to the one I like the most, but I like them all quite a lot. And like I said, I'll show you what they are right now in the light, and then I'll turn the light off and show you lit up because they all light up. So the first one I have is called Slithering Gardens. And this is the one that my wife liked the most. This was her pick. And actually, from a lighting up standpoint, I think this is one of the coolest, if not the coolest of them. And you'll see what I mean when I do that. So to give you a good look at this one basically is a garden. Well, it has gardening in it, but it's kind of like a creepy old house, as you can see. So you can see, let me go over what we see. My favorite part is this on the side where you can see the branch coming through the glass, and then the snake kind of coming out of there. It's like a greenhouse, and then the skull on top, which you'll see lights up. And then we have, some roses down here that are really nice, some more snake action going on, a tombstone, the front that says Slithering Gardens, which is cool. Up top, we got a skeleton up here on the veranda. Not a whole lot going on, like, on the actual roof. I'm not going to show you the backs because the backs are just, like, they're not meant to be seen, really. So, then we have, like, a little, gazebo. I was going to say gondola. I'm like, definitely not the right word. Gazebo with a skeleton couple cuddling in there. Might also be another reason my wife liked this. And then, side view, not a whole lot going on there. But this one's cool, so let me go ahead and turn the light off real quick without dropping this. And then I can turn it on for you, and you can see how it's intended to be viewed. Now, the colors are going to look different on camera because of, colors always look different on camera, but as you can see, decent amount of things light up. I don't know if you can tell, but yes, over here we have the heart on top of the gazebo, glows. You can't see it too great, but the eyes on the skeleton head glow, and the green light in the house window also glows. So they kind of like pulsate a little bit. So as you can see, pretty awesome. I think this one lights up extremely well, and actually better than my favorite one that I have that I'll do last. But you'll see what I mean when I get to it. All right, turn the light back on. Sorry, I don't edit my videos, so it's just going to be like this. All right, so actually, it's not the last one. The second one, this is the one that I picked out. And this one's even bigger. And this one is Creepy Pumpkin Patch. This one's a monster to try and find a place for. Well, literally, it looks like a monster. So this one has a lot more going on because it's significant. It's like not quite double, like maybe 1.5 the size of the Slytherin Garden. So there's a lot going on this one. Where to start, really? Let's start over here. So we have a haunted barn, and there's a zombie, pretty excited to have a pumpkin right there. There's a scarecrow with a pumpkin head, pumpkin patch this way sign, a little skeleton dog, which is really fun. Let me see if I could show. Oh, yeah, and then there's some, like a jack-o'-lantern guy there and some skulls. Then in the middle, we have this. This is like the best portion of it, in my opinion, this giant jack-o'-lantern head where people can enter the mouth. There's another zombie with a pumpkin and a skeleton going on there. And then up here, there's a rat and then a bunch of pumpkins. You can't see it too great, but there it is. And then it says Creepy Pumpkin Patch there. And you've got a skeleton jack-o'-lantern dude popping out there, which is pretty cool. And then over on this side, you have, they're selling cider. And you got some zombies drinking cider and a skeleton cat to go with actually 2 skeleton dogs. And then a nice pumpkin there. Not a whole lot going on like on the upper portion on that side. But I will say that like the shadow that this casts when it's lit up, when it's not quite fully dark, but like just kind of dark, it looks pretty cool because you see like this windmill like really silhouetted on the wall. It's pretty awesome. So now I'll go ahead and turn the light off and show you what this is going to look like. All right, so this one's fun, but it's not as fun as the other one, I think. Plenty of lights going on here. There's no like pulsating of the lights. There's no blinking of the lights, which I wish there was with this one. But I love how this pumpkin head, the eyes really light up green. They got some great green coloration coming through here in this roof portion that's pretty dilapidated. I love the lights that are kind of coming through in the cider portion as well. That's pretty awesome. And over here with the haunted barn. And then the fact that it illuminates this portion, which was the harder to see portion where you can see some of the painted on jack-o'-lanterns with this rat in there. So I think this one looks pretty great as well. I'm a fan of this one, but my favorite lighting up will be my last piece. As I turn the lights back on, there we go. And this one is actually the smallest of what we got. So my wife was just like, okay, 2 is fine, like a pick of yours, a pick of mine, that's fine. And I'm like, yeah, but this one also, it's kind of small, so it's not as nearly as expensive. It looks super cool. And actually, this is my favorite piece. And this one is called Nothing Like a Hot Bath. And it is literally a skeleton taking a soak in a boiling cauldron. I think this is really kind of cute, kind of fun, kind of funny. But when you see it lit up, like how they decided to do it, pretty awesome. And this over here actually says, and it says it on both sides, Esmeralda Spa featuring relaxing hot tub cauldron baths, but don't stay in the water too long. I mean, I think the skeleton would probably be fine though, right? There's not a whole lot going on the back though, so. All right, I'm going to turn the light off. Get ready. This is the best of them. This one is wonderful. So, I love the way this lights up with like that very bright green and the orange. So, I don't know if it's really coming through in the camera, but as I try to hold it still, you can kind of see that it kind of like fades. The intensity of the lights kind of go up and down slightly. So the fire looks like it's actually more like an actual fire, and the bubbling is a little more like bubbling, but it looks pretty awesome. This is my favorite one, even though it's the smallest and the cheapest. Obviously, I still love the other ones, but this stuff is awesome. So, turn the light back on so I can talk to you for a minute. Hopefully you enjoyed that. This is a first haul type video like this I've ever done before, but would love to hear about what other things you guys have picked up recently, especially if you picked up any Spooky Towns, or even if you haven't picked any up, but you just have had some around. My neighbor actually has a huge Spooky Town setup with a lot of newer pieces and a lot of what we have, and they, not only do they light up, but they have moving pieces on them. So there's some really awesome stuff out there. I'm not trying to sell some people on collecting stuff that you don't need to be collecting, but it's pretty cool if you're into that type of stuff. But anyway, thank you for checking this out. Do me a favor, hit subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up on this video, hit the notification bell button, and you can also check out in the links down in the description. I have memberships that you can check out at 2 levels. So if that's your thing, you can see what you get for those levels, and they're cheap. But anyway, thank you so much for checking this out, taking your time to watch it, and until next time, keep it brutal.